Hey guys, my name is Beans. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the court cards and going over them. The court cards can be a little difficult usually when I talk to people and they're like, I'm trying to learn tarot. I just got started. One of the first questions they have is, how do I read these court cards? Like, what are these? How do you even interpret them? And so that's what this video is going to be about. The thing about the court cards is they can be about characteristics, how someone acts, how someone thinks, or they could be about physical attributes about a person. Me personally, I don't read too much about the attributes of a person, but like if you were doing if you got the page in a reading, it could be this person is very young, you know, or the king is this person is very mature, they're stable, you know, they're older type vibes. The knight could be they're middle aged, you know, and that's how one could read those, but I don't read attributes. So let's get started. I'm going to start off with the pages. So for the pages are usually about the start of something, the beginning of something, new opportunities in that vibe. It usually has a mix of aces along with the fool. You know, that's kind of the vibe it always gives me, like an ace energy, also a little bit sometimes combined with the fool energy. The Page of Cups, it's a card that is very emotionally immature. Like, yes, this could be a card that says, okay, there's going to be a start of relationship, you know, someone really likes you, they're like, okay, let me see where this is going to lead. That is a meaning of this card. But also, this is a card where it's like they don't fully understand their emotions, they don't fully understand how they feel, and they don't fully know how to communicate those things. So usually when this card comes up in a love reading, I'm like, okay, yeah, this person does like you, you guys could get together, but there's a lot of learning and growing that needs to happen. The communication may not always be there. Sometimes things may be a little confusing because you may not understand what they're meaning or how they're feeling, and it feels like they're giving you mixed signals, and it's usually because they don't fully understand their emotions themselves, because they're still learning that process. He's on a journey to understand his feelings and emotions. The Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, like I said, opportunity. This usually has to do with stability, safety, finances. It's always like it could be an opportunity to bring in a sense of comfort, a sense of safety. It could be monetary comfortability, sorry. Or it could just be like, hey, I feel safe. You know, one of those two things. But usually it's like, okay, we're starting to build those things. We're trying to find something that's going to be stable, that will make us feel comfortable. And because this card doesn't exactly know how to do that, it always has this trial and error thing about it, where it's like, okay, I'm going to do what I can to bring in this safety and stability. I'm going to do what I can to try and do what I need to, but it's always learning and growing. So you have to be able to be like, okay, this isn't working, let me try something new, because this card doesn't know everything, you know, and it's gonna make some failures, it's going to make some mistakes, and you have to be okay with that, but learn and grow with the process. And also with the Pentacles, it's a suit that's going to take time. This is like, okay, here's an opportunity, but you won't see the outcome of that for potentially years. You know, that's usually what this card is, because the Pentacles is the slowest moving suit out there. And then we have the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords is a card full of energy, just like the Wands. But this is like, okay, it's full of energy, it's ready to go, it's ready to do things. And sometimes it gets too ahead of itself. Sometimes it's a little impulsive. Sometimes it doesn't think before it acts. Sometimes it just gets itself into things without really thinking about the consequences or the potential outcomes, is really what that is. And you see that because this page, he's going into battle, right? Things look a little chaotic. I don't know if you can see that tree there. It's really windy where he's at. There's some chaos going on, but he is not dressed for this chaos. He's dressed for a day at the park, you know? So he's not fully prepared for the chaos that's about to happen, but he's going in there like, yeah, I got it, I can do it, you know? And that's the vibe that the Pentacles encapsulates, honestly. And then we have the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands is usually the start of a new passion, a new desire. It's like, okay, I'm here to find something that is going to make me happy, that I'm going to feel really passionate about, you know. But the thing about this card, it's very fickle with it. Sometimes it's like, ooh, I really like that. Ooh, I really like that. And it finds all of these different things that it likes and that it enjoys, but it can't really stick to it, you know, because it's just searching after a feeling. It's like, what do I like? What gives me that sparkly feeling? You know, what makes me feel a something? Almost like a adrenaline rush sometimes is what this card is after. So sometimes this card doesn't have the dependability or the longevity that you would like. Sometimes it's just like, let's start something and then immediately ends it. Next, I'm going to be talking about the Knights. So Knights are usually also about opportunities, right? They're also about something coming in. Usually it's a person, right? Usually this more embodies, oh, okay, someone is physically coming in, or an opportunity is physically coming in, is what that Knights are about. But the Knight of Cups, usually an opportunity or a person that is going to make you happy. Like this card is all about the good times. It's like, let's enjoy this moment. Like, it's giving romantic vibes. It's giving I want to give my heart to you type vibes. It's like, let's just live happily ever after, you know. That's really what it is. It's like, here's my offering, please take it. And so whether this is a person of like confession of love, or it's an opportunity that allows you to enjoy life a little bit and be happy, it's always that offer of happiness, you know, emotional satisfaction, which can be nice. The Knight of Pentacles is usually an opportunity for financial stability, or just stability in general, you know, a sense of safety, a sense of comfort. This could be a job opportunity, or a person who's coming in with like, I can help things feel more stable, you know, I can bring a little bit of comfort into your life, is what that is. But like I said, Pentacles are a very slow moving suit, and if this card is a person, I want you to notice this card is, it's guarded. He has his gear on, right? So if it's a person, usually they're like, yes, I can bring you a sense of stability. Yes, I can bring you a sense of comfort. But also, they're not going to be 100% open with you, because they are guarded. They won't completely let you in. They're going to be like, I'm going to keep you at an arm's length, because I don't truly want anyone in. So communication sometimes is a thing with this card, where it's like there are communication issues because people aren't fully opening up and aren't fully expressing themselves. Then we have the Knight of Wands. Now this Knight of Wands is always a card that says, okay, there's something that's going to come in that's going to be very passionate. You know, there's a lot of energy in this card. This could say a couple of things. It could be like, if you're asking about a career type reading, it could be like, okay, we're seeing some movement in the career, you know, potentially a promotion, new job, those types of things, where it's like things are moving very fast, you know, because this is a very fast moving card. If you get this card in a love reading, sometimes this may not be the best card in a love reading, because yes, there's that passion, yes, there's that desire, but sometimes it can't go past that. It doesn't have the stability, it doesn't have the emotional connection, you know. And so then it ends up fizzling out and dies. Also, this card can be a little bit of a hoe. You know, sometimes it's all about the hit it and quit it type vibes, especially if it's in the reverse. So this is a card that, like, yes, at the beginning it can be very nice, you know, but if you are unable to establish that emotional or physical, like, comfortability, then it may not be the best, is really what that is. But this is a card that can say, okay, in the career you're advancing, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of energy, good things are coming. So it's either way, honestly, sometimes. With the Knight of Swords, this is a chaos card. This is a card that says things are going to be stressful, things are going to be overwhelming. Like, do you see this card? There's a lot happening. The winds are crazy, he's going into battle, he's ready for action, like he's actively moving. This is a very overwhelming card, and usually what this card means is that things are about to get very stressful, mentally overwhelming. You know, we're going to need a break. So usually this is a warning. It's like, okay, make sure you're prepared, make sure you're not doing too much, make sure you're taking care of yourself, those types of things. Next, we are going to be talking about the King. We're going to start off with the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is a card of emotional stability, right? Like you can see he's in the water, the waves are a little rocky, the water is going, but he himself is stable, which means he is not letting his emotions dictate every decision. You know, he's thinking through, he's not letting his emotions overcome him. He's like, okay, let me think this through with just clarity and not just focused on how I'm feeling. Let me make sure that I'm bringing some logic into this situation. So it's a card of emotional balance, you know? Also with the King of Cups is sometimes because there is that emotional balance, sometimes you don't truly know how they feel because they will keep that inside. They're like, okay, well, I don't need to really express this emotion right now. So it's not necessarily because they're trying to keep secrets from you. It's more like, okay, this isn't an emotion that I think needs to be said. And so then they just keep it under the surface, you know? They won't exactly express it. But that is what the King of Cups is about. Next, we have the King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles, he's obviously living in luxury. He's comfortable. He's feeling very stable. Like, this is a card of stability and just comfortability, really. Like, he has everything he wants. He has everything he needs. He has financial stability, not financial abundance. And that's to be clear, but financial stability. Like, he's in a good place financially, emotionally, and that's really what this is. Usually this is a person who they've done good things with their money, they planned well, they put in the work, they put in the progress, and now they're experiencing some level of stability and comfort, and that's really what this is. It's all about that stability, comfort, and safety. The King of Wands is a card of leadership, especially leadership towards your passions and desires, you know? It's super smart, it's super charismatic, like they know how to plan, they know how to get what they want, and they put that energy towards their passions, and because of that, they end up being really successful. Something about this card is sometimes this card can be a little bit of a hothead, you know? If they see that you're not doing what they're doing, like if they see that you aren't doing what they would have done, they'll get a little bit argumentative. They'll be like, why aren't you doing this my way? You know, they get a little bit controlling, they get a little bit egotistical, is what that is. But this is a card of leadership. This is a card of, okay, let's put our energy into this so that way we can get our goals, so that way we can be successful. The King of Swords, this is a card of mental stability for me. This is a card that's like, okay, mentally you're pretty strong, your walls are up, so you can handle things, you can handle the stress, you can handle the chaos, right? But this is also a very analytical card, you know. This card is also thinking things through a lot, and sometimes because of that they can come off a little bit cold, they can come off a little bit distant, but it's just because they're thinking through the situations. They don't want to, you know, over express themselves. They don't want to let all of their cards show, is really what that is. And last but not least, we have the Queens. We're going to start off with the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is my self-worth card. It's a card that's like, okay, you have to value yourself. You have to love yourself. And the reason why it's my self-love card is because out of all of the cups, the Queen is the only cup that has her cup closed. And the reason why is because she's not sharing her cup with just anyone. She's very selective. She's very picky. She's like, okay, my cup is closed because I know that not everyone is deserving of what I have to offer. So this is a card that's like, know your worth, know your value, and understand that not everyone is meant to be in your space. Not everyone is meant to be in your energy, because there are some people who will use, abuse, and take advantage of you if you allow them to be in your space and energy. And she knows that. On that same line, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles it's very nurturing, yes, but this can be nurturing in two ways. This could be nurture yourself, like physically take care of yourself. Have you been eating? Have you been sleeping well? Like, what have you been doing to nurture you, right? Like, let's put some energy, let's grow ourselves type vibes. Or this could be the type of nurturing where let's nurture our projects, let's nurture our careers. Like, let's put in the work, let's put in the effort, let's make sure that we're doing the small things that will later allow our projects to grow and become stable and allow us to be where we want them to be. And that is what this card is. It's a let's put in the dirty work. Let's get our hands dirty. Let's grow it. Let's cultivate it. That's that type of energy. And sometimes people think all queens have that energy, and they can. It's not that they can't. It's just there are some cards like the Queen of Cups that aren't necessary about the nurture growing of it all. But the Queen of Wands does have that nurture vibe, you know, because this is a card that's like, let's work on our passions, let's work on our desires. In a relationship reading, this could be like nurture your partner in the way of how do you guys receive love? Like, how do they receive feeling appreciated, loved for, cared for, that type of things? And it could be as simple as going on date nights, you know, just really getting a little bit more intimate, but not physically intimate, just like feeling intimate, you know, talking to each other, feeling loved in those types of ways. And if it's towards your passions and desires, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what am I doing to cultivate this? What am I doing to make sure this is something that's going to grow and develop into what do I want it to do? You know, it's putting in the tools, putting in the tiny details so that way it can flow. And then with the Queen of Swords is very analytical. It's very intuitive. It's one of those cards where it's deeply connected to its higher self. And because of that, it's able to see through all of the BS. It's able to see through all of the gimmicks. It can read people and situations very well. And so it can usually see when someone's being honest or dishonest. And it can really see when there's a situation that's not going to serve them. So they're able to quickly analyze and be like, this isn't a situation that's going to work out for me. Let me walk away. Let me do what I have to do for me. And because they're so analytic, sometimes they can also come off as cold and distant and not very nurturing. But this is just because she's in her head a lot. She's using her intuition. She's like, no, this is fishy. This is suspicious. And that is what that is. So I hope me going over these court cards helped you guys so that way you can better understand your tarot readings.